Okay, so I have been getting some messages about something that I had posted yesterday about my olive oil shot. So I've been doing some research because I want to become my healthiest. I want to reach my peak at the age that I am now. So I'll be 48 this year. So I am implementing new things, doing research, and I came across the olive oil shot and the olive oil elixir. So let me just show you. So this is the olive oil elixir that I made. You know, it has um 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 organic lemon, 3 cups of water, um, some ginger, a pinch of ginger, and I think some cinnamon. I think, but if you look it up, you can get the recipe. So I did make this, and also because it's not as the amount of olive oil that is in here is not really therapeutic. So um with this, you only drink like 4 ounces, which is a half a cup, which does not give you enough olive oil for it to be therapeutic in your body. So which is why that I not only do this, because the lemon and the ginger and the honey that's in here is also good too. So I do take this, and I also do a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil with a squeeze of a lemon. So I am just going to show you right now. So what I've learned is, it's very important to have a very good quality of extra virgin olive oil, which these bottles of extra virgin olive oil is not cheap. So I got this bottle on sale, which was $22, and it is 25.5 ounces of olive oil, and this was on sale. I think this bottle was like 27, 28, 29.99. So but it was on sale. So, and what I learned was you need to have the kind that has a harvest date on it. So I'm going to look for the harvest dates on here. Okay, so if you see here, well, it says 10/1 of 2025. That is when the when the olive oil was first cold press. So it's very important to have the organic extra virgin olive oil. It has to be cold pressed, and it needs to be in a dark bottle. And then when you store it yourself, it needs to be in a cabinet somewhere dark so the light won't oxidize it. So these are the things that I've learned that is a really good extra olive oil, because if you don't have a really good extra olive oil, it's like drinking vegetable oil, like the vegetable oil that you cook, that you fry chicken or fish in. So I went and got this. I do have other brands of olive oil that I use to cook with, but when I am drinking this, for therapeutic, for for my body, for it to be therapeutic on my body, it will have to be this. So if you decide to do it, let me know. I would like to know your results. This is going to be the 5th day now that I am taking this, and I can already see the difference in my skin. My skin looks, moisturized, more moisturized. um I do feel a little bit more energetic. My bowel movement is more smoother. Like, there are so many benefits to taking the olive oil shot, and it's only day 4, and I'm already seeing some. So I am going to continue to take this. I'm going to continue to, look for the benefits and share them with you. But if you are interested in, improving your health, reaching the highest peak of your health, then you can go over to Instagram, to my Instagram page. I do share some of the things that I do eat, some of the things that I prepare here at home. And, I do, I am creating my own exercise. I'm not going to say video, but because I am on this journey now in, improving my health, if you don't already know, I was diagnosed with lupus back in 2012, and God has really been good to me, because I do know that some people, they experience lupus symptoms in different ways. People that have this problem, I have the systematic lupus, and that lupus can harm the organs in my body. So right now I went to go see my rheumatologist last week, and she did all the blood work. She, checked my vitamin D levels. She did every test that needed to be done to see if there's any inflammation in the body or if my lupus is active. And everything came back very, very good. I was surprised because I haven't seen her in like 2 years. And I have been off medication for like the last 4 years. The last medication that I was on, I was taking infusions like every 6 months. And and that was like 4 years ago, and I have not been on any medication since then. I've really been focusing on just, improving my health, incorporating exercise, and, and with me doing that, I have not had to be on any medication. I have not had to, be going back and forth to the doctor, going to the emergency room, none of those things. When I first learned that I had lupus, I was in the hospital for a really long time. I had bilateral pneumonia. I was on a breathing machine. Like, I was very bad. They told me that I was dying. They had to put me in a medically induced coma, and just going through all that is what led to my diagnosis of lupus. And they told me that I was dying, and the very last test that they did a lupus panel on me, and it came back that I had lupus, which lupus was the reason why that my body could not fight off infections. So instead of my body fighting the infection, it was attacking the tissues in my lungs, which was very, very bad. So when they found that out, they put me on a very high dose of prednisone, which really improved my health. So I thank God for those doctors. I thank God that those doctors really did take really good care of me. I was in the hospital for 30 days. I was on a breathing machine for like almost 2 weeks because I could not breathe on my own. So they had to put me in a medically induced coma so that I could be on a breathing machine, so they could really find out what was going on with my body. Because when I first went into the emergency room, I couldn't walk 10 feet. And come to find out, both my lungs was filled to the max with fluid for the pneumonia. I never knew that pneumonia could do that to you. So that was my first time having pneumonia. So all that happens, and all this happened in 2012 while I was going to school. I was in college. So many things was going on at that time. But, as I look back on that situation, and, to just reflect on what happened, I was under tremendous stress. Stress can kill you. Stress will bring on autoimmune diseases, all types of diseases. If you don't manage your health, if you don't manage how you take care of your body, if you don't manage your emotional health is very, very important, because your emotions controls what happens in your life. So I was under a lot of emotional stress because I was in a toxic relationship, and then I was in college, and then there was something that was going on with my son, that really took a toll on me, and it was extended for maybe about a good, maybe for about a good 4 to 5 months. I was under tremendous stress, and then being in college, getting my homework done, college is already stressful on top of that. So I was in a toxic relationship with someone who didn't value me, dealing with betrayal, cheating, all that. And then I was in college, and then my son got in trouble, going to court, and, so in that period of time, I had so much stress on me that I didn't even realize it until I decided, okay, so before all this happened, I was like I said, I was in college, and hold on, let me get my limit. So I was in college, and like I said, my son got in trouble, and what was I going with that? So like I was under so much stress that I didn't even realize that I was under it, but I said, okay, so this was in December. The end of the semester was, coming to an end. And I'm like, okay, so because I have been through so much these last 3 months, I'm just going to take a break and allow my body to rest, because I felt like that I needed a break. So the end of the semester came, it ended, got my grades. I was good, and I was like, my grades was really good, A's and B's. So I had completed the semester with good grades. My GPA was, where it needed to be for me to go to the next semester, to do the next set of classes. And okay, so I did that. I made that decision. January came, I'm good. And then all of a sudden I got a cold. So went to the doctor. My doctor told me, okay, so you have a touch of pneumonia. So he gave me a Z-Pack. Okay, took the Z-Pack, but then like the third or fourth day with taking the Z-Pack, I started to get a sore throat. So, and then the sore throat got so bad to where I couldn't swallow, I couldn't eat, because it felt like that there were like needles that were like, it felt like I was swallowing glass when I was swallowed. So I went back to the doctor a week later, because at that time I wasn't getting any better. So then he gave me an inhaler, because I had started having really shortness of breath after that. So I got an inhaler. He gave me an inhaler, which wasn't helping, so I did that for a week. And then after a week after that, tell you how good God is. My mother, 8 o'clock in the morning, this is around the time my children was going out to, around the time my kids leave to go to school, and she came really early that morning. I think she came right after my youngest son had left out to go to school. She came, and my mother never comes over to the house, and especially not that early in the morning. It had to be like 8:30, 9 o'clock. She came in, and I was upstairs in the bed, and I was, when you're sick, sometimes you sweat. And for like for like 3 days, I was sweat. Like I would be drenched in sweat. Like the mattress would be wet. So she came in, she came upstairs, and she saw that my bed was wet. And then like I had started to, when I talk, I had to take breaths after every word. I talk, so I couldn't talk because I was so out of breath. So she made me call the on-call nurse, and I did. And I explained to the nurse everything that was going on, and she said, "Oh, you need to get to the emergency room right now." And my mother was like, "Okay, so can I take her to the emergency room?" The nurse was like, "No, you need to call the ambulance right now." This was February 17th, 2012. They came and got me. I went into the hospital, couldn't walk 10 feet. They had to come and they had to bring me a wheelchair because I walked inside the hospital, because I walked inside the ambulance. And when I got to the hospital, I had to get out and I had to walk to my room. I couldn't walk 10 feet before I couldn't walk. I had to sit down. So when they brought me the wheelchair and took me in the room and got x-rays of my lungs, oh my goodness, I swear, like every doctor almost in the hospital was in my room. Like I was scared. I didn't know what was going on with me. But from that day, from February 17th to April 5th, I came home April 5th. I was in a medically induced coma. I had to go to a rehabilitation center, a nursing home, to be rehabilitated because I had lost all strength in my muscles because I was in the bed for so long. I had to learn how to build the muscle strength to even wipe myself, to feed myself. I had no strength nowhere in my body. The most humbling thing that anyone could ever go through is as a person who has taken care of themselves and get to the point to where someone has to wipe your butt after you have taken a crap. That hurted me so bad to where when I got home from the hospital, honey, I did my research. I researched what happened to me, how I can the medication. When I got home, the medication, I had like 12 to 15 different types of medication that I was taking every day. And then on top of that, I was on oxygen for 3 months after that because my lungs had to heal from the pneumonia. So I was walking around with energy oxygen tank. I had the thing around my nose, and I was walking around with a oxygen tank. I'm telling you, like I went through it. That part of my life changed me, and I was 31, 32. I think I was turning 32 that year. I was 31 years old, and that changed me. That changed how I looked at relationships. That changed how I looked at my health. That changed how I looked at my lifestyle. That changed everything for me. And even still coming out the hospital, still going through things in my relationship, still, dealing with, betrayal, disrespect, and God told me, he said, I was just telling my auntie this a few weeks ago. He told me, he was like, if you stay, he said, I didn't bring you out of this for you to go back to where you were. He said, if you stay and go back into the hospital, he said, you won't come out. Honey, when I tell you, I ended that relationship so fast. And when I tell you, when I did, of course, my body had to take time to heal. But I never went through that situation before. I never ended up back in the hospital. I came off all the medication, and it's because I started taking care of my emotional health, my mental health, and I got rid of the most important thing that was causing harm to my to me, to my nervous system. So it's been 4 years since I had to take any medication, and before that I was only taking medication every 6 months. So I went from taking the medication every day to taking medication only every 6 months to coming off the medication. So God has been so good to me. He spared me, he protected me, and thank God that I was obedient to the things that he was saying to me, because if not, then I would have been right back in that situation. I would have been still in that relationship, maybe, because it's been a long time. But my journey becoming the woman that I am today, and the things that I had to learn, as I look back and reflect, like I've come through so much. And so right now, I love the woman that I am today. I can always reflect back on the things that I went through and still take lessons from those things that I went through, and it's still, improving my life, helping me to evolve and to become a better person and to become a better woman. So that is why I am sharing this. Your health is very, very important. And, as long as you're working on it, you don't have to always be perfect. Of course, me, I'm still not perfect, but I am still trying every day, learning, researching, reading, doing things to expand my mind, to become more self-aware, to put myself in a position to where I can help someone else, especially if someone is dealing with an autoimmune disease. It's all about your emotional health. It's all about your mind, and how you deal with stress. Like stress, and I think that's what really happened to me, is the stress almost took me out. The stress almost took me out. And there was so many doctors that had taken care of me, because I was in the hospital for 30 days. And so many people saw the things that I had went through. When I came out of it, when they saw that my health had started to improve, and it was improving rapidly, the doctors was amazed. They was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that you're improving this fast. But there was people coming into my room telling me, hey, I just want to let you know that you restored my faith in God. Because it was this one nurse that came in my room, and he said, what you went through, he said, people don't come out of that, and the doctor told one of the doctors told me, if I was a smoker, I wouldn't have never came out of that. I would have never came out of it. I tried to smoke cigarettes at 21 years old, and that was the worst experience of my life. I thought I was going to cough up my lungs, and I never tried it again. So I could never get into smoking cigarettes. So I never did. But, reflecting back on that time, that is when I began to start making the little changes. It is very important to understand who you have in your life, because the people that you have in your life can affect your health. The stress that you have in your life can affect your health. The way that you view life can have an effect on your health. So yeah, right now I am trying something new, because I'm getting older now, so I want to try new things. And so I came up on this olive oil drink, and see what it does. So if you are interested in it, go ahead and get you some. But if you have any medical conditions, or if you're taking any type of blood thinners, or any type of metformin for diabetes, any diabetes medication, this can affect that. But if you don't, this helps reverse diabetes. It's so many health benefits to drinking, having 1 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil every day. And I am already seeing the effects of it, the benefits of it. And it's on this is going to be my fourth or fifth day. So I encourage this. I am not a doctor. I am not a nurse. I do not claim to be a healer or a cure or a cure-all person. None of that. I just want to put that out there. But if you want to improve your health, I encourage you to incorporate this in your diet. You don't even have to change your diet to see the benefits of this, taking the olive oil. So yeah. So if you watch this to the end, you can follow me on Instagram. I do post, the things that I eat, exercise, the exercises that I do, when I work out and all those things, because when you're improving your life and when you're becoming a different person, when you're reinventing your life, then your health is your health is very important, because without it you can't not do anything. Okay, if you like this video, once you go ahead and like it, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and share this video with someone that you may know that may be dealing with an autoimmune disease and need help on, regulating the immune system and improving your health to feel better, to have more vitality and all those wonderful things. Share this video with them so that they can come and talk to me, because I know a little bit about, how to manage the autoimmune disease symptoms, and so that you can live a better and more fulfilled life. Okay, thanks for watching, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye.